up, the 8-bit geek? Are you new to the show? It's only been 5 years, almost 6. Well, if you're new, this is your first time here. We've done 250, so you could go back and listen, but let me tell you what this show is like, okay? It's a lot like being a kid at Christmas, really.
Oh.
You make sure you're a good boy or good girl all year. You work up the courage to see Santa at the mall. You sit in his lap and you let him know what you really want. Christmas Eve comes and you're so excited, and you put out the cookies and put out the milk. And then you're like, all right, I'm going to go to bed now. Then you wake up and you see that he left those gifts that you asked for. In a rush, go downstairs and you check the tree. You start tearing open those gifts to find everything you didn't ask for. You come to the last gift and nope, you didn't get shit. You're just so disappointed that you stop believing. I'm Jeremy, and with me today are two men who dress up like Santa, go into bars and ask men and women, want to sit on Santa's lap?
Ho, ho, ho. Sit on my lap and we'll talk about the first thing that pops up. I'm Dog.
Nope. Kevin dresses up like Santa. I dress up like one of the elves with Santa, and I go, "Hey, give me $5 for a picture."
I thought you'd be like, "Hey, you want to get a 3-way?"
Well, that's after they give me the $5 for the picture,
and that's where the picture comes from.
You ever had sex with an elf?
Oh, hashtag Eiffel Tower and Christmas.
So, I have to ask. So this Christmas week, okay? We're what, 5-6 days away from Christmas?
At least 17.
At least 17 days away from Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
Have you guys ever asked Santa or your parents for something that you truly wanted, and then what's the biggest thing that you can remember going back and saying, fuck, I just never got that, and I've always been kind of a little bummed. Like your entire life you've gone and you still don't have it. Is there anything that stands out? I'm
36 years old, and even by today, I would love a fucking Big Wheels. Like one of those like motorized fucking like four-wheelers that you can probably, at my age, you could probably just get a foot in there. But like when I was a kid, I always wanted one of those motorized fucking Big Wheels. Oh, is that what they were called? Big Wheels?
That was Bigfoot.
Bigfoot? Oh no, a Bigfoot was a monster truck.
I know, like a motorized one that you sit in. Yeah. It was a Power Wheel.
Power Wheels. There you go. Power Wheels. Yeah, I always wanted one of those, and just parents never came through on it. Although my parents were very, very good to me during Christmas. As poor as we were, they always made my Christmases pretty fucking awesome. So I'm not going to complain. I'm just saying, if that one thing that got away from me in my childhood,
except for the Power Wheels.
No, the one, my fucking
Power
white
Wheels
whale.
I just spent 20 minutes talking about.
Power Wheels.
Hey, my parents did get my parent did get me a Power Wheels one year. And the first thing I did with it was I went down a steep hill. I ruined the motor on it and I crashed it into a tree. Mom was happy.
Oh man. Like I had the big wheels, like the one where it's just like the one big wheel in front and then you sit in it. It's got the two bottom wheels.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Like Danny Terrence from what's it called? The Shining.
Yeah, that thing. Yeah, I had one of Transformers, and it made cool sounds like.
Everybody had one of those. How about you, Doug?
I've talked about this one on the show before. It was the year that I asked for the Xbox, and my dad my parents got me like Xbox games, but no Xbox.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
that's a dick move. I forgot why was the reason on that. Can we revisit that?
I had just gotten like a PlayStation 2 the year before, and my dad bought himself an Xbox, and then he would never let me play it, right? Because he's like, "Hey, you got a PlayStation 2," and so I was like, "Hey, I want an Xbox like Halo and stuff, you know."
Rain up in here, all right.
We just got a donation, a $2.70 donation, which brings it up to $1,106.90, 69.
Nice. That was from Gone Off. Thanks, Gone Off.
Yeah.
Nice.
And and so I got like the old Knights of the Old Republic, the first one of that, and like Halo 2 or some shit. I don't remember. And yeah, and then the Xbox never came. And so I remember my mom being like, Yeah, because I was at the end of the day kind of, a little annoyed with it. Like, why not?
Are you adjusting your levels right now?
I'm looking at my levels. My
don't do
levels
it,
are
Mike.
fine with.
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
Yeah.
I'm guessing it's just the OBS settings for your mic.
I don't know. We're hitting the same levels, so I don't understand.
I don't know
It
either.
doesn't seem a little quiet. I don't know. That's weird.
You're great on my end, so please don't turn the mic.
Yeah.
You sound fine to me.
Yeah, I don't know. And they were like, you can borrow Ed's.
Wow.
Oh, Ed.
What a dick move.
Yeah, I'm
Good old reliable
Ed.
Ed.
Yeah, I'm gonna check my settings real quick over in OBS, but yeah. So that was me.
Yep.
What about you, Jer?
Oh, it probably was video game related. If I probably would have to say the Sega Genesis.
Oh, man.
I begged and asked Santa and asked my mom. Now, mind you, I was still a 13 or 14-year-old boy who believed in Santa.
Okay.
Very
Fair
gullible over here. Even when the kids made fun of me at school, I was just like, "No, y'all are fools. I know what's real." He brings me gifts, and yeah. And the Christmas came. There was a big box, but it was one of those like, "Hey, we're a smaller box in a big box," and it was a smaller box inside that box, and it was no Sega Genesis, and so I was really depressed. Now, I probably showed my depression a little too much because on my birthday, I got the Sega Genesis.
Nice.
So yeah, that happened. Hey, going back to the Big Wheels thing and me crashing it, I just thought about this and I was like, I can only imagine what my mom thought. But then I realized what she thought because last year Colin asked for a remote control car for Christmas. What, Kev?
I was gonna say you were the one that broke that shit.
No. It was his first one. It was his first one that he got. It was like a $50 one from Walmart, right? And I was like, okay, here you go, have fun. He was like, can I take it and drive it outside? And I was like, of course you can. 2 seconds later. And he got it ran over by the neighbor's truck who was pulling out of the driveway. And so I was like, well, there goes that.
Yep, that sounds about right.
Yeah, but didn't you get him one and then you broke it yourself? You like crashed it into a wall?
That's the current one. That's the one that's the one where he saved up his money. He saved up $170 of his own money that he made from birthdays and he made from doing yard work and stuff like that. And so we went to the hobby shop, bought a nice hobby one, and really nice. He still has it. And I ran that into a curb at 60 miles an hour.
And then you're like, how does it feel, motherfucker?
Yeah. Fuck your money.
It obliterated the front end. So I spent $50 replacing all those parts, and I rarely drive it because I don't want to break it again.
Just drive it in an open parking lot.
I was gonna buy him new tires for that thing this Christmas, but I was like, fuck, the tires are $40. $20 for the front, and $20 for the rear. I was like, I'm not fucking buying tires for this thing.
Do you have to rotate them as well, and do you have to like get them aligned, like a real car?
Yeah, it was like, do I replace my tires on my car, or do I replace the tires on my kid's toy car?
Essentially, fuck. So if you're new here and you like what you're hearing, you can always subscribe to us, and we ask that you do. Please do it on one of our wonderful partners. We have Audio Boom. They provide all of our bandwidth. They're our sponsors, so we thank them for all the love that they show us and have shown us over the years. You can also find us on Spotify, iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher Radio, and anywhere else that you find podcasts. You can also follow us on social media at the 8-Bit Geek. And of course, every Monday night, we record live on Twitch. You can stream, you can hang out in the chat, and really be interactive with the show. If you can't make it to a show and you still want to show some love and you still want to make some friends, you can always hop over to our Discord channel. All that information is on the website. or on our social media pages. And if you're in Twitch right now, right down below, you can find that information. It's a wonderful place. We always like to show it some love and promote it because, man, we've made some friendship happen. And I mean, there was one this weekend. Like 2 people came together who are fans of the show and had lunch together. Like,
well, one's a fan, and I don't really know where band stands on whether or not he actually likes the show or not, or if he's just hanging out.
He keeps showing up.
Yeah.
He just puts up with it.
Yeah.
So you could go do that. You can make some new friends. You can also talk to us. We're in there almost every day. So he goes, "Oh well, I'm here for Doug."
There's my answer. He's here for Kevin. Don't even try to. Hey, speaking of people over in the, am I louder? I went to my settings and I bumped it up from like 100 shows to be the max. I bumped it up to like 130, and it looks like it's louder, but I can't tell. So let me know.
Also, if you want to, you can check out some other shows that we have on the network. We have 8-Bit Saga, Divas Drop Kicks and Dives, Brainberry Tarts, and Garbage Day. There's something for everyone. And it's wonderful. You can go check it out. And also, we'd like to, we won't spend a lot of time on this, but we will let you guys know about this with Patreon. There was something that went on, some controversy last week, where they changed how the service fees work and things like that. Patreon was about to charge a percentage of what you give plus a 35-cent fee per pledge. So if you were giving $5 a month or $10, you would have ended up giving a lot more. And so they have reversed their course. They said, you know what, we've heard the community and we've realized that we did something bad. So they've reversed it. Now we, 8-Bit, will get charged those fees still. So that way you only have to worry about a flat fee if that's all you want to give every month. And so we're thankful that has happened because we did lose some Patreons over that. You know, because we understand that, totally understand it costs people extra money that they weren't expecting to pay. And they didn't know how much they were going to have to pay every month. And it helps with budgets when people can just be like, hey.
Yeah, like a flat fee. Yeah, for sure.
Flat.
Yeah, because it was like up to 2.9% plus 35 cents. So it's like, okay, up to. Like, what does that mean?
Yeah, is it like just a route, just like a flip a coin and be like, well, it's 2.9 this week.
I mean, you know what, though? We've seen that on our end where it's like, well, we didn't lose any or gain or lose any patrons this month, but for whatever reason, we made $40 less than last month because, they took $40 more from us. Or, you know, with 40s, that's probably too much. But we have seen that on our end. So, yeah, it was fucking, I don't know, man. But I'd rather it that way. I'd rather us take the hit than you guys take the hit.
Exactly. So with that, Doug, we haven't given a shout out at all this month, and I'd like to do that. So if you want to pull that up, yeah. we'll do a filibuster real quick. And so we just want to say it's been 250 episodes.
250, and I've been around for about 193 of those.
And we didn't start Patreon until probably 2 years ago. I think 2 years ago. We wanted to establish a fan base before we and we've had discussions before about this, and it's just like, do we ask for support and stuff like that, because all the money that went into the show came out of our pockets. And so we were kind of fighting it. We finally decided to pull the trigger, and you guys, the fans, have come out and really supported us, and really, I didn't expect all the love that we get through Patreon, and it surprises me all the time. And you guys don't understand how much it does help us and where that money goes, and it goes right back into the show. We don't pocket anything. We want to continue to grow that, and we want to see, we want to be able for us to be able to put that money into even more places. So whatever we do, whether it be advertising, whether it be new art, and new art is coming, you guys.
Oh, so much cool stuff is on its way.
Whether it be new equipment, us going to cons, Doug and I flying up to South Detroit to put a flag in South Detroit, taking a photo and sending it to Kevin and said, "Told you so."
Told you so, you bitch.
All that is because of you. And you know, it's amazing. I've said it week in and week out. So we just want to say thank you so much. And Doug's going to go ahead and read off the names who do give. There you go. Go ahead, Doug.
Real quick, I'm going to answer Valhalla over in the chat. It says, do we get any income from Spotify? No, that would be nice.
Spotify, no.
Yeah, but no, we don't get shit from them. All right, here we go.
Should say to go deeper, a little bit deeper into that question. We have a advertising contract with Audio.
Yeah.
And so Audio Boom gets the money from Spotify if there is any for the plays, and then we get paid for the advertisements, and that's how it's set up right now. And it's not a lot because obviously we still need to hit bigger numbers.
Yeah.
But it's so we depend on Patreon for the most part for most of the income around here to pay for that.
When we say we're getting paid for ads, we're talking like 20 cents, like
Yeah.
not an ad, like a month.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's not much.
Yeah, you have to, in order to make money off of advertisements, you really got to be like fucking Jimmy Fallon in the Tonight Show.
yeah, seriously, you have to have like
Yeah.
millions of plays.
Well, and you see a lot of other, even like former YouTubers are going Patreon because it's just like a lot of different platforms their monetizing isn't as high as it used to be, or there's just barely any to get by.
Yeah,
And some people make their living on it. We don't,
Yeah.
obviously, but I mean, our Patreon definitely helps what we were talking about, advertising and getting more more content out there.
And YouTube has that whole AdSense thing with Google, and then a lot of people are losing their advertisers because advertisers are pulling out of YouTube. So
Right.
a lot of them are moving over to Patreon and stuff because they have to like supplement what the fuck they're losing from their ads. Anyways, to our patrons for whom we are eternally grateful. We got Jen, Ryan, Chris, AJ, Lawrence, Arnold, Mo. Let's see, Victor, David, Deb, the Dubstep Kid. Oh,
Nice.
That's a new name.
Wop, 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 wop,
Yeah.
wop.
Oh, man, that's super new. Marky, Carl, Andreas, Silver Dusk, Christy, Robert, Christopher, that is a classic, Blades, Snorkel, the RZA, Gone Off. Hey, Gone Off. Hey, man, you're just like on top of it tonight. Donation, subscription, and a shout out. God damn, dude. You're just all up in. This is the title of the episode, Gone Off.
We got off the rails.
We've gone off the rails. Ian, Ben, Josh, Francisco, Henrik, Drake, Link, Timo, Andrew, Bjorn. Hold on, I gotta scroll down. As always, where was I? When I said Bjorn, Tony, Ryan, the Lonely Trainers Pokemon Gang, Jimbo, UK Ratty, Simon, Eric, Leonard, Justin, Linz, Touchbag, Caleb, Jesse, Robimus, Mado, Crassy, Mike, Ed, and Brutal Moose.
That dude.
It seems like every month that list just keeps getting longer.
It's
That's
very
awesome.
It's
I mean,
very long.
We're very grateful. And if we ever act like we're not grateful, fucking knock us off our booth. Knock us down a peg or two. But I think we can't say enough how grateful we are for you guys. I mean, obviously we would still try to do the show, whether we're doing it for 5 people or not, but to have so many people support us and have this super cool community of folks really warms our chubby, probably not so healthy hearts.
That's the goddamn truth.
Oh man.
All right, and then so next, before we get to misconnections, we do want to hit up a little bit of 8-Bit Xmas. It's still going on. We've still got a little bit of time left. 2 weeks of content coming out. It's going really successful so far. Thank you guys for helping out. And Doug, who do we have next on the docket? Who's coming out on Wednesday?
Yeah, It's supposed to be We Talk Games. Yeah,
we have Talk Games coming out on Wednesday. And then on Friday, it's going to be
hopefully Saga.
Garbage Day.
Well,
I think if you don't have Saga done, we can do Garbage Day, and then Saga can come out next week.
Well, Saga was going to be last year's Christmas special, and then Saga on our channel was going to get the new Christmas special.
That's right. That's right.
All these shows missing their weeks, and now we're like at the end, and everyone wants in on it. Now we're almost done with it.
We just got a new sub, boys. Ironborn666 is subscribed.
Oh shit!
Thanks, Ironborn.
Oh yeah. I threw up on it at first a little bit. I gagged.
Oh,
there's a couple questions here about the same thing.
Okay.
How can I donate? So Patreon is the place where we ask, because we get 80% of that money, and with Twitch we only get 50%. So
yeah,
it's
so
better
to say if you do a $5 sub, then we get $2.50 from it.
On subs. Yeah. Now if you just donate, you could always donate through if you just want to be a one-time donation, you could do it right here just through Twitch, and we get 99% of that. So
yeah,
if you want to set up a recurring, you could do Patreon, because we also have the extra content that you get every week. We have a pre-show and a post-show, and you really get some fun stuff. And then we do some exclusive stuff throughout the year as well. So
yeah, and if you scroll down on our Twitch page, you'll see a button that says donate. You just click on that, and if you want to do the one-time donation, that's where it's on our page. You can scroll down.
Yep, it's all right there. All right, so let's get into some misconnections here. Every week we take real ads from the misconnection section of Craigslist. We read them in funny voices. They're completely real. We don't edit them in any way, although we do ad-lib a little bit. But we definitely can't make this stuff up. Kev, were you seeing me struggle there for a second?
No.
Donation.
King Rexatron donated $5, and it said in parentheses, "Thanks for donating. To put in text, please pay the donating on Twitch package of $4.99. Hashtag Comcast." Thanks, Rex.
All right, Rex. So go ahead and donate again, because
super relevant.
You've made the donate to donate, so now you need to donate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we just got a host from Link IB.
Link IB.
Thank you for that.
Thanks, dude.
Thanks for the host.
That's great. All right, where's Sean?
Oh, what's up, fellas?
Hey!
Some Sean in my life all week, and you have not been here.
I've been busy, man. The holidays are coming up.
I've been texting you. I've been like saying, I told Kev to text you, and you haven't texted anyone back.
This is my busiest time of the year.
Although I did get a text message back from him at like 3 a.m. and said, "Hey, you up?"
Yeah, you didn't respond.
Because I know what follows that. You've sent accidental dick pics before. Accidental. Quotes. Air quotes.
What do you got this week?
This week, that's another Mail for Women, and it says, "We used to be very bad together. We met a number of years back. Our fist date."
Sean was not ready for that. Freudian slip there, Sean.
Yep. I think I gave away too much too early. Let's continue. Our fist date consisted of dinner, drinks, and amazing conversation. You seemingly innocently asked me to come back to your place for a nightcap. I did not know what I was in for. Long story short, you showed me how fun it could be to be totally dominant.
Dominant.
You took me on your pussy, ass, I fucked your face, tied you up, and fucked you with your toys. See also my fist.
Oh boy.
Thanks, Marky, for the host. I'm sure your viewers love this. You left your door open, assuming on purpose, for your roommate to hear and see when she came home. I still come thinking about that first night. Hope all is well. Smiley face. You are black and around 10 years older than I am. Me,
All right.
white professional, came into New Jersey from the city at the time.
All right.
What?
That was eventful.
Yep. I just
So you like them older, huh, Sean?
well,
Yours
yeah.
truly?
What's that?
Yours truly?
Yeah. I was still.
Oh, sorry.
I just put like white professional, but I'm just looking at all my typos. So. yours,
So many.
yours truly, Sean Pennis.
I really love. I get a kick out of the little things. Like you went and you were so dirty, but then you were like,
Your
hope all is
donation will
well.
feed many, especially my 14
It shows that
kids.
Sean has a heart too. You know, he really cares about these missed connections he makes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We just got another donation.
King Rexatron donated $5 more and said, "Okay, cool. Can I put in tech? Thanks for buy 24 character package for donating on Twitch package. If you'd like to upgrade your character limit, please contact your Comcast representative. Happy holidays from Comcast."
Dude, you really got to switch off Comcast.
Aw, thanks, King Rex. It might be time.
Yeah. But hey, I'd really love to hear the rest of that message. So.
Can you give another $5 so we could hear that message?
Yeah.
All right. So someone hasn't been here in a very long time, and he's been dying to come back.
Who, Sir Medic's over in the chat? He just said
Yeah.
sick. I haven't been here in forever.
Not only Sir Medic, but I think someone left the window open.
Oh, God damn it. Close it.
Hey, hey,
Too late.
hey,
Too late.
hey.
Hey,
Oh,
buddy.
what's up, Mark?
Hey, what's going on? Okay. Hey, hey, Kev.
Hi, hello, Marcus. Happy birthday.
Hi.
Or happy holidays or
Nobody
something.
calls me that. That's not my name. Okay.
Marky.
Hey, I made a new rap for like Christmas and stuff. You guys want to hear it?
No.
Yes.
Okay, here we go. I got a big box and it's filled with gifts. I got something for you, and it's not a fist. Okay.
Oh no. Well, at least it's not a fist.
Yeah, it was because I heard
It's a stick in a box.
Oh no.
I heard my
Stick in
boy.
a box, baby.
That song's great,
It's the best song. I think it's the best holiday song.
and that's why me and you was best friends in something.
That's
Okay.
right. Mm-hmm.
And something? What else?
And hey, you want me to get to this story or what?
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, as most of you guys know, I like big butts. Okay, and I cannot lie. There was big butts at Target in a Porsche Panamera. Male for woman at North Bergen. My body is average. Well, that's a lie, because I'm ripped as I'm shredded. Okay, I'm as ripped as a goat that jumps up the hill. Okay. Anyways, I'm
Sure.
27. It was Tuesday, June 14th, around 10 p.m. That's what I wrote in my notebook. I was headed to the checkout, looking for the shortest line. After getting on one, I saw you. I would have rather waited for you. Behind you, your butt and your entire self was beautiful. You had gray sweatpants on.
Gway?
I ended up outside first, and coincidentally, we parked in front of you, and you got in your white Panamera.
What the fuck is a never mind.
Panamera. You look delicious. My mouth was watering, thinking about having my mouth and tongue on your body. If you eat this, then it was meant to happen. Me eating and spanking that fat ass. O-face.
No, it's a smiley face
With a big
with
nose.
with a big nose.
Oh, is that white?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought it was an O-face.
I had to look it up. There is an actual Porsche Panamera.
Yeah, it's like a big Porsche. It's got like
Panamera? Is it Panamera or Panamera?
it's a Panamera. It's got
Panamera.
big, long. It's like it looks like a dolphin in a shock had sex.
What?
Yeah, it does look kind of shitty for a Porsche.
Anyway, guys, I'm gonna go. Okay.
All right.
Bye,
talk-
bye, Marky.
talk
Happy
to you-
holidays.
Just out the window every time.
Gone.
Kevin?
Kev,
I'm
you're-
just speechless.
I love that the chat's like trying to spell what he said. Ram monitor. All right.
Let me step in here for a second. Kevin's off doing Kevin things. This one is to my tall, big gal, mature, big breast. Just one. Walmart. It's different. It's not your regular Walmart.
Yeah, that's a mart of walls.
It's a Mart of Walls on Wall Street. This was on Friday. This is a mail for women in Temecula. Yes, Temecula is really a thing. My age this week is 38. Now you're wrong, because I'm an idiot. A mature, tall, bigger sized lady with large breast. Really, just one smoochy face. On Friday in line at 12 a.m. If you see this, hope you like to be my fun partner, and I'll love to play with your boobies. Now, see, I was wrong there because there's only one. So
Well, just because there's one big one doesn't mean you should shun the other one.
we call this in the industry a BLT. But it was like only one, so it's just a BT. All right. Now, if you're, once again, wrong on that, single, that is great. But if not, I don't mind a sweet, lovely taste of you bury my face between your butt cheeks. Lick that pussy good long. Why do I sound like an old Asian man on here? And this was all, there was no periods whatsoever. So if I read that again, if you're single, that is great. But if not, I don't mind the sweet, lovely taste of your bury my face between your butt cheeks. Lick that pussy good long. Now, that's like something you see on Google, like when you get one of them spam messages in your Gmail account. I hope that you get back to me from the Mart of Walls. Merry Christmas to you and yours, Velvet Jones. Conversations, y'all.
Jesus.
Oh, good.
Wickton over in the chat, thank you for the 300 bits, by the way, the cheer. Chair's broken again. It's so slinky.
Oh, that's so good. All right, let's talk about the top box office. And really, when I say let's talk about the top box office, obviously we only mean let's talk about one movie.
Yeah, the Disaster Artist, right? Fucking loved it. No?
Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. And this was Kev's idea, so he was a smart one on this one. We're going to talk a little bit. We're going to keep it very spoiler-free for Star Wars The Last Jedi. We're going to say, hey, what we thought of it and if we liked it or not. And we're going to save all the spoilers. We're going to get deep into it at the end of the show. So that way, if you haven't seen it yet, we're not going to spoil it for you. And that's how we'll do it. But Star Wars Episode 8, The Last Jedi, came in number 1 with 220 million, which puts it at second all-time in America behind The Force Awakens, which made like 250, 243, 250, something like that.
I think worldwide over the weekend it made like 480 or something like that already.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Praise. So yeah. So all three of us went to go see all of it. Well, okay. Well, Kev
Baby, I know
only
you
saw
throwing nickels at me, but you would die.
3/4 of it.
Okay, yeah. Quick little story on that. No, there's no spoilers here. We went to go see it at the Alamo Drafthouse, and I want to give shout outs to Alamo Drafthouse because they are fucking awesome for this. But we went to go see them at midnight on Friday night, which Friday into Saturday. By the way, we just got a donation by Valhalla. Donated $20. Thank you, Valhalla. Thank you so much. There was no message or anything.
Yeah, it brings us back up to 11:36.90. So 69.
Excellent. So we went to go see it at midnight because we were like, we want to avoid as many people as we can. And first off, I don't know if I told you guys this, but there was some meathead in the theater that looked like Brock Lesnar. and he was like, even in the Alamo, the normal rules are like you talk, you get kicked. He was smart enough to like, I guess, not get caught, but still be annoying as fuck. So he started off the movie. He was way in the front. We were way in the back. Like for the first 15 minutes while they were showing trailers, he was just like standing up and like kind of dancing and shit. Like he must have been coked up or something. I don't know. But he was just like, fuck it. He wouldn't take a seat. And then like 45 minutes into the movie, he gets up and like probably goes to the bathroom or something like that. But he doesn't go back to his seat. He stands right in the fucking aisle, like right by the door. And you can just hear him every once in a while. Something will happen and you'll just hear from the door. And then you'll hear like every once in a while, there was one scene, and it's still not, there was an explosion in the scene, but it didn't make sound. So it's all fucking dead quiet in the theater, and you just hear him in the back. Dude, Debbie was about to kill somebody.
I would have laughed so hard.
And here I am. I'm like, man, I want to tell that guy to shut the fuck up, but he is like 3 times my size. And I was like, I don't want to get into a fight tonight because I will get killed. And so that's going on. 20 minutes left in the film. The camera melts. Literally.
Projector?
The projector, excuse me. The projector melts.
At the camera. They project it with a Galaxy S8.
Yeah. It
red
melted.
Epic. Like, hey, we're gonna shoot this through a red Epic just real quick. We just gotta make sure that this is just the forest of K's we can get.
Oh my god. Yeah. So the movie just like shuts down. Like you hear audio for a second and then it just all turns off. And the funny thing is like staff didn't know because staff was busy doing what staff does. And so that meathead dude went out there and he's like, I think your movie's broke. And he kept calling everyone boss, which I fucking hate. That is the most bro thing to do when you call either people boss or chief.
He's like, hey, boss. Your movie's broken.
Yeah. And then he kept following around the poor waiter, and he's just like making like shitty jokes that no one was into. And then he's just like, oh, it's a good thing I saw the movie yesterday. If you guys want, I could pantomime how it ends. And everyone in the crowd's just like, no.
I think I like this guy.
Yeah. Hey.
Yeah, you can go to the movies with him later.
Hey, Kev, I have a question, a serious question though for you.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like this is the second time you've gone to Alamo, and the film's caught on fire.
No, this is the first time this ever happened.
Did you lose power? I feel like this is not the first time.
I lost power, but like I said, the first, when that happened, I was a kid and we went to go see The Crow. So I mean, and the power went off on the whole block of where the theater was at. So there was nothing they can do about that. But that was, once again, I mean, it was in like the mid 90s, early mid 90s.
I for whatever reason just have a feeling like this has happened to you before.
It has, theater. But it's been a couple decades.
Right.
No, Alamo's been good.
I'd like to know. To just piggyback on that, why does all this theater darkness just follow you? Like, no matter where you go, there's so much theater drama with you. Like, there's always a guy on his phone. There's always a guy that's making noise. There's always kids laughing. There's always a building burning down.
Yeah, and like you went to like the premier movie theater that like kicks people out for being on their phones and for talking and shit.
I know, that's why we fucking went.
Yeah, and still,
like this fucking Brock Lesnar ex-UFC fighter is fucking hanging out, making fucking shitty sound effects.
So that's hilarious.
Yeah, like seriously, oh my god.
I would have died laughing if I just hear that out of the side of my fucking. I'm like, Pichu.
Just a fucking asshole. Yeah. So, but the waiter comes out, explains the situation, apologizes like a million times. And then, so what they did with the Alamo was super cool. They gave everyone, they covered their food and drink tabs. So we racked up like $40 and it was all covered. Then they gave everyone 2 rain checks each and also a food coupon, a food voucher for like $10 for their next visit. So they said, you can come back and see Star Wars, and then you can come back and see another movie of your choosing.
Star Wars again.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I mean, Alamo really took care of their customers. I can't say enough good things about Alamo Drafthouse itself.
Hey, what's the expiration date on those vouchers?
There's no expiration date.
Oh, then you fucking use one and you go see Han Solo next year.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it says expires and it's like marked out. So.
And then you use the next one to go see episode 9 the following year.
Then you just all Star Wars'd out, man.
Yeah, and you got it for free for like one time.
The really good thing about that night though, we got their because Alamo Drafthouse always gets the Mondo pint glasses, so we got one one dark side, one light side, and they had another one for the porg, but I didn't really care for the porg.
So let's start with
Oh, Ants is gonna murder you for that. I'm just letting you know. It was nice knowing you, Kev, but you're dead now.
What? Because I didn't care for the porg glass?
To Ants. To Ants. She's gonna fly down to Kansas City. She's gonna find you in your home. And she's gonna murder you in your sleep.
Why?
She loves the porgs.
I thought they were cute. We'll talk about that in the spoilers.
Yeah.
Okay, so overall, I'm going to go first because I think both of you have very different views of this film, other than I do. I really enjoyed this movie. Obviously, there was a couple things that could have been different, and we'll talk about that later. But overall, it was a fantastic journey. It was different than any other Star Wars film that I've seen before. I liked how they even brought back a few elements from the previous movies, and one thing that isn't a spoiler is in the Force Awakens, they kept talking about the rebellion, right? But they never mentioned rebel or rebellion or no, the resistance. It's called the resistance, right? But they never mentioned the rebellion or rebels or anything like that. But in this movie, they kind of brought it back a little bit. And I really appreciated that because I was like, man, yeah, that fuck yes. And you even see the Rebel logo on some stuff and everything like that. So I really loved that aspect of the film. And I loved the surprises that they gave. The Porgs, they were just there. Like they were modeled after the birds that actually are on that island. And so cool, sell some plush toys, I guess. But it was a comedic, like they had a couple comedic places for them, but overall they didn't fucking matter to anything. So overall the film was wonderful. I really enjoyed it, and 2 big thumbs up from me. Kev?
Well, despite not seeing the ending, you told me the ending, so I got that much from it. I liked it, but it wasn't my favorite Star Wars. I think that there was a lot of stuff. I mean, obviously they were going for the Empire Strikes Back vibe. It seems like they kind of nailed it, but Disney has they had more of their hands in this one. And there was a lot of weird humor or like jokes that kicked in on real weird times. It kind of felt like a Marvel movie to me. And once again, I'll go more into the detail on that in the spoiler part. But I don't know. I came away from it. Like, I think I had more feels and more emotion afterwards after seeing Force Awakens than I did with this film.
Mm-hmm.
So I give it 1 thumb up if we're using the thumbs up scales.
No, that we never use for anything ever.
I know, we switch it up every time.
No, I think that because we haven't officially scoring it, because I think we'll officially score it at the end of the show when we talk about it.
Right.
But Kev, I think that you're right in that, but I think for the most part, The Force Awakens had a lot more nostalgia to it than this one did, and I think that's a lot of the emotional ties dig into that.
Well,
because
I mean, there was we didn't know we were ever going to get another Star Wars movie, and it was like the return to Star Wars for several people, you know, and
yeah, so the member berries were strong, but I feel like, I don't know, I just feel like this one Force Awakens had more heart than Last Jedi, and I feel like Last Jedi is obviously setting it up for a final film, or at least a final one in this trilogy, so I can understand what some of their things were going on, but there still was some like questions left unanswered that didn't kind of make sense, or role choosings. I mean, Doug and I talked about this earlier, like role choosings that didn't seem to make much sense in retrospect.
Characters that like, why are you here?
Yeah.
Why are you here?
So,
why did they
once
create
again,
this character for this?
We will go more into depth after the show.
Yeah.
What about you, Doug?
Think overall.
Boy, howdy, do I have feelings about this movie?
Yeah, like the thing that I knew that there was a problem with this movie, because after Force Awakens, the first text that we got was, "Oh my God, amazing, fucking loved it," blah, blah, like you were really hyped up. After this one, didn't hear a fucking word from you until the morning, and then you still said a lot to process. And
yeah,
at that point I went, "Uh-oh."
That was Jeremy's red flag.
Yeah. Well, and we'll go into it more at the end. I think my problem was in the chat. Electric was it Maestro? Electric Maestro says, if anything, The Last Jedi should. No, sorry. The Last Jedi is best enjoyed when being critically impartial, as opposed to fan reactionary sort of view. Constantly comparing it to the original trilogy and one's own theory is just a recipe for dissatisfaction, if you ask me. 100% agreed. And I don't want to say, like, the thing is, like, my problem is, I think maybe I went in with too many expectations, maybe. Like, even with, like, the Luke stuff, like, I think a part of me was hoping for a little more old, Legends EU Luke, this.
Right.
And I know they kept saying, like, because you see the trailer and all that stuff, and he's talking about the Jedi have to end and whatnot. And so that, like, obviously shit's gone down. We know that from the first movie, that obviously some shit fucking went down.
Right.
And, but I don't know. Like, there was still some things that, like, just I may have been expecting from his character, and then there's arcs in the story that just seemed stupid and out of place, and I was fine with the Porgs not having anything to do with anything. Like, they're just there, which is fine. But there's, like, subplots that just, like, why are we doing this? Why is this lasting so long? Why does this character exist? What is the fucking point? But I've been talking with my cousin about it over the weekend and stuff, and like, I think he's kind of like he just wants to, like, I think he felt the same way I did about it, and so he's been kind of like almost like a sounding board, just like, well, but they did this, and this, and that makes sense for this movie, blah 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 blah, and so it's kind of bringing me back around. I definitely need to see it again, but I did enjoy it. I thought it was very good, and I enjoyed so many things that happened in the movie, but there were just enough things that rubbed me the wrong way, that that are lingering with me for some reason. This is an instance where, like, I need the fucking next movie, like, immediately, because I need this. I just need answers. I need answers on things that are going to bother me about this movie for the next 2 years. Like, it doesn't. I don't think it won't matter how many times I say it. Either I'm gonna need the next movie, or I'm gonna need more books. I'm gonna need more shit to fucking explain stuff to me, because there's so many unanswered fucking questions. So
I think that's the overall, the kind of community online, right? Like, you have 50% of people who really love it and it's great, and then the other 50 who hated it because it didn't explain anything from the last film. And I think the main problem, a lot of this is, I thought that they had 7, 8, and 9 all mapped out. I thought that there was a overall, like, arcing story, like they had everything. And every interview that I've read is that there isn't that set in place. Like, J.J. Abrams did his movie, and then when it came time for what's his name, Ryan, is it Ryan? Who did this last one?
Ryan.
Ryan Johnson. So when it came time for him, there was almost no directions from J.J. Abrams as to what he wants set up or what should be go somewhere. Like, Snoke had no continued story.
Oi, spoilers.
What are you talking about? No, that's not a spoiler.
Yeah, he's talking about The Force Awakens.
I don't know. I'm just stopping you. As soon as I hear names, I'm like, spoilers.
So Snoke, like, after the first one, he was like, I don't have any direction for Snoke. I don't have any direction for Luke. I don't have any like, and so it's just it was a fresh, clean slate for Ryan to come in and just do his thing. And so that kind of bothers me a little bit, because I was like, because I think that's the main issue with what people are having, is just like, well, okay, thanks for not answering that fucking big question. Mm-hmm. And for me, like, we'll get into it later on. This is because this is going to open it up to other shit. So listen later. We'll get back into it. Okay.
Yeah.
Listen later.
And Deb says, just, I can't wait until the novel comes out so we can understand. I will say, I've read almost all the novelizations for the movies. I don't think I did the prequels, because but, like, the original trilogy, I read all those, and then I did read the Force Awakens novelization also, which is really interesting because there's actually stuff in there that got cut. And so, yeah, I'm with her on that. I'm hoping that there's some clarification as to things that happen. I also just it's up there on my list of Star Wars movies. It's like in my top 4. So it's not like I hate it. It's not that at all. And people are talking about the humor and stuff. I love the humor. Star Wars is humorous. It's always been humorous. It's a fun. There are fun, funny moments in all of them. All of them, except with the exception of Rogue One. They mentioned that in the chat also. It's like, well, Rogue One wasn't funny, but Rogue One is a war movie set in the Star Wars universe.
Right.
It's not like, I will put that in my like listing of Star Wars movies because it is a Star Wars movie. But you know what I mean? It's not part of this trilogy. It doesn't need to be. It didn't need to be funny, and it shouldn't have been funny. It has funny moments. K2SO is one of my favorite.
Yeah, I was gonna say K2SO is the comedy of that.
But in what they're doing and what you know what's going to happen, it didn't need to be like this kind of Star Wars funny, and that's fine. You know, it's fine because it is what it is. You know, it told the story, and in a single go. You know, it's not like sequels and shit. So I don't know. This is still up there for me. You know, I like this better than some of the original trilogy movies. Like I say this all the time. Like, I love Star Wars, like, to my core, and I don't like A New Hope.
Mm-hmm.
Fair enough.
Yeah, it's that, you know, a lot of people have that. A lot of people are like, Empire Strikes Back, A New Hope, Return of the Jedi. I'm like, Empire Strikes Back,
Return of the Jedi, New Hope.
Yeah, and then sprinkle some other movies in between, like everything in there.
I like this. Ant says, I can't wait to be frustrated listening to the novelization because of all the garbage sound effects they had. Ants, I hate to break this to you, but it's going to be narrated by the douchebag that was standing behind me going.
Well, I just want to say, Ants, are you talking about the novelization or are you talking about Saga? Because
burn.
That's what I.
Why would you burn your own show?
That's what I do. That's why I had this. I had sound of it. I love it. I love that they do that on their books. And you kidding me? It makes me feel like I'm like listening to a movie or something. It's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk some. Let's get some news out of the way, and then we'll get back to some Star Wars. So,
and boy, do we have some news
this week. Obviously, everybody knows that the net neutrality was repealed. Now, before everybody freaks out, and I'm sure you've had time to, anybody who listens to the show, I'm pretty sure knows that the next step in this is that it's not completely repealed yet. It still has to go through the courts. And so we still need people to write into your Congress, to write into the Senate, and really get behind it and say, we don't want this to happen. Now, we have a lot of people who are in those positions who are not in favor of it and actually want it to come back. And the Senate is actually, what I read today was that I believe the Senate was going to make a vote to reinstate net neutrality. And so, like, I was like, what? Okay. And so there's still a lot of work to be done. So it's people are freaking out like the world is over. It's not over yet. If this thing goes through the courts, then we're fucked. But as of right now, we're just kind of waiting. So
yeah, I mean, you just gotta like contact your representatives constantly. Unfortunately, I think well, I don't know, we might be fine. I don't know. Ted Cruz is just opening his stupid mouth a lot. He got in a fight with Mark Hamill today, especially. And it was really
and Mark put him in his place.
Yeah, he did, in like a fucking epic takedown. It was awesome. But so Texas may be fucked in that way. But you can always, again, whatever your local representative is, and tell them to.
I wrote mine.
I didn't read that. I got to read that then.
Oh,
my representative, Kevin Yoder. Oh, sorry.
I was gonna say the FCC douchebag, whatever his fucking name is, posted some video, and Mark Hamill tweeted it and was like, essentially, "Hey, you suck. Also, did you pay John Williams for the rights to his music?" Because he didn't. And then Ted Cruz was like, "Oh, poor Luke Skywalker, like blah blah blah. Don't you know that like." It was just a bunch of that bullshit that they try to push.
Condescending horseshit.
Condescending, yeah. And he was like, "Thanks for swarm-splaining me the issue here. Also, I don't know how you misspelled my name when it's right in front of you. Maybe you were too distracted watching porn."
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Love Mark Hamill.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's so good.
My senator is Republican Kevin Yoder, and I wrote to him, and he got back to me and said that I guess he is against, or he's for net neutrality, which is weird, and he's one of the few Republicans I think that voted for net neutrality.
Well, a recent poll showed that 3 out of 4 Republicans were for net neutrality because they do see the issue at hand here. The problem is that like you've got companies like Comcast and AT&T that are starting to buy people off for a number, for a lot of money. Mm-hmm. But that's why it's gone. They've tried doing this twice and it's been overturned twice. They've tried to like put it in a bill or something to get rid of it, and it hasn't happened yet. So again, we just got to keep the pressure on your representatives and stuff to like let them know, like, hey, don't fucking do this. And the most important thing is that there are elections next year. So this isn't a time when we need to be keeping our fucking representatives and elected officials in fucking check, because they need to know that it's next year, like next, January. You've got to start watching your ass if you want to get put back in your seat. If you're going to hold on to your seat and not get, elected by someone else or have someone else be elected in your spot. So I don't know. It's keep the pressure up. Contact them, tweet them, email them, call them. We have so many ways to reach out to our officials. And if they tell you, hey, no, I'm going to vote against net neutrality, then you make your voice heard, come next November.
I like what Washington State was doing. They said it doesn't matter what the government and the FCC does. We are going to protect our community, our state, we're going to. I swear they will pass laws. They will start their own ISP company. Whatever they got to do, I think Washington State is doing the right thing, and that's fucking awesome. Yeah. I think everybody should follow suit.
And there's like 13 other plus states suing and stuff for like kind of the same, the same thing. And like it's so interesting to me that the less government party, like the party that like wants to get the government out of everything, is like that's part of their whole thing is like, well, by getting rid of net neutrality, it gets rid of government overreach and the internet and the stuff and all the stuff that they do to our internet that doesn't make it free. And it's like, no, don't twist this, you fucking assholes. What it does is that at that point you're allowing corporations to, I don't know. But at that point, at the same time, it's like, I understand the state being like, hey, fuck off. No. Like, you don't get to tell me what happens to our residents here. So it's so interesting. I don't know.
So Wickton says, where is a good resource to find full details on net neutrality? Go to pornhub.com. They have a great link at the
top of their page. What is it? It's a battle for the net or something like that.
Yeah, I think it's a battle for the net.
Wow.
That'll give all this information for you. Don't go to Pornhub. I'm just kidding.
You can just do it in incognito mode.
Yeah.
Battle for the net is a good place to go. Battleforthenet.com. Someone wants to throw a link up in the chat.
Yeah. And so it's definitely it's really wow, my wife is mad at you now, Jer. Too late. I'm already gone. It's sad because the FCC was put together to protect us, the consumer. It's not there to protect the companies, and they're supposed to look out for everyone. And it's sad that we have a corporate shill, a Verizon representative, just fucking piece of garbage. So, anyways, go do your thing, like Doug said, and make sure this doesn't happen. A little. This one, I don't know. A lot of people probably haven't heard about. It's a really small news piece, but I wanted to bring it to everybody's attention. It's really important. I think this is going to be a big deal one day. But Disney has purchased Fox. Just a small story. Nothing to see here. But
Simpsons has predicted another.
Somebody ban Rex, please. We don't do that here. Get the hell out of here with those links.
It might actually be like
here, let me check that.
Yeah.
Oh, it's clear.
Okay, it's clean.
Although it is labeled Indian businessman, BBC fucks net neutrality for money. Now the advertisement's all porn, but the video's fine.
So click at your own risk.
Erase internet history.
So essentially, in this deal, they don't get Fox News and some other things, but they get all of the movie rights and TV rights and all that good stuff. The most important thing out of this for me, yes, they get X-Men back. yes, they get we're wondering if they would get the Fantastic Four. I guess that is in the deal. They do get Fantastic Four. The only thing that I really cared about was them getting the New Hope distribution back, because now that will pave the way for this original trilogy HD remastered edition without the special effects.
Yeah.
Without the special edition, yeah, it's untouched, and so, I mean, it looks great. It's a 4K. Now, before people go, oh, it'll never happen. People on Twitter have already been talking about it. That people have watched it already. It's been remastered already at the Skywalker Ranch. Like, it's being done. So we will see that someday. I don't know when, but it'll come.
Now, I will say I did hear earlier that the government is trying to put a hold on this deal.
Yeah, because this could be antitrust, or not. It could be a violation of antitrust, and it could be obviously a monopoly.
So that's what they're worried about, a monopoly and stuff. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but I mean, there's other big companies out there still making movies. How would this be considered still a monopoly?
It's like back, remember a few years ago when AT&T was trying to purchase T-Mobile, and then Sprint had a problem with that? It's because it's going to become a fucking mega conglomerate.
Well, and there were some issues with them getting their own, Marvel getting their own characters back. I shit you
Really?
not. Yeah, they were like, Marvel shouldn't have access to all their own characters. And
What?
yeah.
Now that's a little
No,
weird.
and they're like, well, and you may think, well, DC, WB has all the rights to that, but apparently they do and don't. Like, it's all under WB, but it's like different film branches or some shit. Like, somehow that's how they're able to do it, because it's like weird in some way.
Oh, maybe that might be why they keep recasting everyone.
And but yeah, apparently like that's part of I don't know. Okay. It's Disney. Disney has changed laws and copyright law and all that stuff to fit their own needs. So I ain't worried. They're gonna get what they want. Like,
oh, Chris Cool says it's based on a percentage of the market for monopoly. Okay, now I know. Today I learned.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's Disney. They'll push this fucking through. They'll do it
if
somehow.
anyone can do it, it's the mouse. So
It's gonna be that. Yeah.
The one thing, and you guys, I mean, I'm thinking about other bigger picture things. My biggest thing, I was like, man, out of all this, since Fox owns Predator and they own Aliens, I was like, man, maybe they can get fucking Ridley Scott's shitty ass out of the Aliens franchise and bring Neil Blomkamp in to film that fucking sequel that we've all been waiting for.
That'd be great.
I'm really worried though, in like Star Wars Episode 9, when they go to the Outer Rim and they meet up with some other Resistance fighters or something, and you've got the Xenomorphs and you got the Predator and you've got the fucking Avatar things. You know?
I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy what Disney will have now after this deal. If this deal goes through, like, they'll have everybody, like anybody you can think of in a major film will be basically in the Fox, Disney, Marvel universe of sorts.
What was I said? There's talks. Okay, so apparently, and I don't know if this is in our news, but they're wanting to start the Gambit movie, the Channing Tatum Gambit movie. They're Fox is trying to get it like started before they fully acquire, because I guess there's like some like 90-day or some shit before like it's fully done, like deal. Probably where the government has to like make sure that what they're doing is kosher. So they're trying to get this movie started so it'll be finished before the deal goes through. And apparently that's supposed to start production like March 1st.
So that way they still get paid off of that.
Yeah.
Come on, you just made $56 billion. Really?
Well, they still just want to get that movie made. Apparently, I guess they're worried that they're going to get it in there, and Disney's going to be like, "Nope." Which I'm still like, okay, so March 2nd, when the deal goes fucking through, like, well,
they could just
shut it down. Sorry, guys. Like, fuck.
Channing Tatum's like, no, I had my chance.
It was in my fingertips.
Mon ami.
But my worry about that though is like, if you're rushing to get a movie out, it ain't gonna be good anyways.
I.e. Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
So we'll skip the next one because we all know that one. But I did want to say, I didn't put it in the notes, but we'll hit up some DC news here as well. That Matthew Vaughn confirms that he's in talks with DC Films to oversee the DC universe.
Ah, okay. I can get on board with that.
Matthew Vaughn did the X-Men movies.
Yeah, he did First Class. He also did what was it? He did First Class and he did Kick-Ass and he's did Kingsman. Like he's done a bunch of big movies.
Those are good movies. Okay. My concern is that like, well, I did enjoy First Class. I liked. Ooh, did I? I was gonna say, where does Days of Future Past? Maybe a little bit.
That
more.
wasn't him. Days of Future Past was.
It was What's His Nuts.
Yeah, the fucking boy toucher.
But he was a producer on that movie.
He's also done the Kingsman movies though, and he was reported in talks to do Man of Steel 2. And so he also had a comment about Batman, and this is where he won me 100%. I know it's not popular, but I don't give a shit. He said, if I were going to do Batman, there's no point doing The Dark Knight because it's been done to perfection. So you have to think, if I were doing Batman, I'd go, Christ, let's bring out the Adam West version.
Oh, God.
Yes! Bring him in.
Pow.
Let's do it.
You know, they'll add a new sound effect.
If it ain't Adam West, I don't want to see it. And if it's Adam West, it means he's a zombie. And therefore, I'm in.
I'm totally in. Can we get zombie Adam West Batman, please?
I think there was a comic about that.
Oh, my God, yes. Here's a cool story. Alamo Drafthouse is opening a video rental store.
Sure they are.
I could dig it. I mean, they're hipster enough to pull that off, I think.
Yeah, it's going to be called Video Vortex, and it's going to be they're going to do provide renters with DVDs, Blu-rays, and a massive collection of rare VHS tapes, including titles that have never made their way to DVD or Blu-ray. Also, if you don't have a VCR laying around, they will rent you out a VCR player.
Oh, man.
How about that?
Kevin,
I'm
not on board with that.
We, as of like this year, have pulled all VHS players like out of our classrooms and stuff because it's dead technology and it costs more to keep up with that shit than to fucking like.
Make sure you put that on eBay because there's a couple companies out there that do the conversions. They'll buy that shit up, right?
Who the fuck wants VCRs? That's like, okay. I can understand people wanting to go to vinyl for like that vinyl sound. A fucking VCR is terrible. It's like, oh man, I love having to work with that tracking button. Ooh, man. Oh, I got to rewind this. Ooh, yeah, look at that. Oh, I can't watch it after 30 plays. Oh man.
Listen, it was
the good old days, right?
It was a lot of fun when your mother was like, "Hey, Jeremy, can you rewind the VHS tapes?" And you put them in the you had a separate rewinder.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you put them in and you boonk, and then you just watch it go.
Yeah. Okay. Can we? The only reason why VHS even was as popular as it is because Pornhub didn't exist then. Pornhub didn't exist.
No, dude. You had to fucking, and that was rough. Okay, being a young person and sneaking into your parents' porn collection. Probably dad's not like you had to like be fucking like you had to be stealthy as fuck because not only did you have to watch where you watch, you had to rewind to the exact same point.
Yeah.
Otherwise somebody would know something was up.
Yeah, like timestamp that shit. Like, okay. So start the movie. Cool. He's 45 minutes in.
Hey, isn't it amazing? Like, I know, isn't it amazing that the porn industry has really been in the
it's the drive. Yeah.
It's been the driving force of all the media that we've consumed.
Yep.
That's crazy.
Yeah, because they choose the what is they consider the best, cheapest option, and that's what they push to, and then the world follows because goddamn it, we need our fucking porn.
That's true.
And
everyone
that's what
needs to relieve some stress.
That's what I don't understand is you have these politicians and stuff like I wish that Mark Hamill made the joke about Ted Cruz watching porn being distracted by it. He should have been like, I don't know why you're not for net neutrality, dude. Like, you're gonna get charged more to watch porn at work.
Yeah. Legit.
T-Mobile is going to be launching a new TV service in 2018 because why not, right? Let's add another one to the mix.
Because they're like, that net neutrality is gonna go the way of the dinosaurs. So let's fucking get all this while we can.
Why not? I mean, Disney's doing it. Why can't we?
T-Mobile TV. Aren't they? No, that's AT&T. AT&T is working with like DirecTV or Dish Network, one or the other.
They're owned by AT&T owns DirecTV.
Yeah, there you go. Because every time I go into their store, they're always trying to get me to get DirecTV.
Yep. I don't know. It's fucking whatever. No one's gonna fucking sign up for it. Nobody cares. All right, let's get into some gaming.
Yes,
It's fun. So here's something real crazy, and I think a lot of people are gonna. I don't know if this is true. It's a major rumor right now, but somebody went through the code of CS:GO and they found a new survival mode that sounds a lot like Battlegrounds.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's loot boxes, guns, knives, armor, a whole bunch of shit. And I think that's the way that it's going to go. I think we're going to get a battle royale mode in CS:GO, and I'm down. Why not?
I mean, if anyone can pull it off, Valve can actually get off their ass and make a fucking game. God damn you, Valve. Fuck you, Valve, and everything you stand for, you sons of bitches.
Damn,
bro.
Yeah.
Oh,
that was real.
I'd be okay with a Star Wars battle royale. Can we get that added into Battlefront 2, please?
You know, EA's on that shit. They're like, "Oh, we've got our ear to the ground here. We're gonna put some. We're gonna call it Rebel Unknown." Ha 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 ha.
Mm-hmm.
That's how EA laughs.
I agree.
I mean, everyone's basically rolling with it now. So I mean, I can see that.
Yeah, there's a ton of different companies who are putting these things together, and
who can do it successfully is on like
successfully
so far. What what was that game that you guys talk about? That
Fortnite. Yeah, Fortnite is very successful in what they're doing, and I think that the PUBG creator player unknown is feeling the pressure of that, because now he wants to come out and he's saying he isn't happy with the copycats, wants better IP protection. But but here's the deal. He's coming
from the guy who stole it from DayZ.
Well, he made it.
Yeah, he's the one creator of it.
He's not the creator of DayZ.
No, of that game type in DayZ.
He made the mod in DayZ.
Right.
We talked about this before.
Yeah, we have.
So he's the creator of the Battle Royale mode.
Right.
Like initially. So he didn't steal it. He made it.
But there was games that had Battle Royale before him. Like, what was that game that me and Doug played? The Culling? That came out before PUBG.
Yeah, but that came out after H1Z1.
And there you go. And H1Z1, that's another one.
That he worked on, Kev.
Did he work on H1Z1? I don't fucking know.
We just talked about that.
I don't know.
So here's the problem. He wants people to make the genre better. Like in this article, he says he wants better IP protection, but that would block people from making the genre better.
Yeah.
So he goes on to say that he doesn't mind, he loves the competition, and then he wants people to make this mode, but he wants it to be different than his. But if you do IP protection, like, how does that happen? Then you're gonna have to license it from you first before they even think about doing a mode. So, and I guess that his biggest complaint is that China has full-on copies of the game. It's not even a question. Like they even update when PUBG updates to do the animations, and it's a straight up clone.
Yeah. But
So,
I mean, that's what China does. They're like the bootleg capital of the world.
yeah.
Like they've got Grand Theft Auto 6 and 7 now. And like they have like the shittiest things for like PS2. Like they are kings of doing that.
And I think I said this before when PUBG first came out. PUBG is great. They are the first, but I don't think that they will be the best. I think a company's going to come along and they are going to just make it's going to be probably a big company. I don't know. Maybe not. But someone's going to fucking make it just as smooth as butter. It's going to be wonderful because they're going to take the time to work on it. Mm-hmm. It's going to be optimized. It's going to run great for everybody. And it's going to have a ton more features that at a faster rate than what PUBG is creating.
Yeah.
And that's not to say, like I said, PUBG has been a lot of fun. I know that I knock it here lately, but I think that somebody will do it better.
Oh, definitely. Well, and another thing too, I mean, remember we talked about this early on. We're like, if anyone can do a great PUBG clone and probably perfect it, probably Ubisoft with the Ghost Recon. Like, remember, like how we have that map already, and they're already working on it, aren't they? We talked about that.
They have something very similar, like in a very small dosage, like in Wildlands. Like that is a perfect setup for that, for a battle royale mode. Like
vehicles, everything. Like
everything is there. They have like a small thing, but it's only, I think it's like 5-on-5, and it's like a small map, and it's
or like a portion of the map.
Yeah, it's like essentially the same thing. But I do think that they could expand it. Obviously, this stuff takes a lot of server horsepower, and I think that game, when you look at the graphics and everything, I don't know, maybe it's too much to handle that kind of netcode or something, for 100 people in the same map, and not burn down your goddamn CPU.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see. I liked Wicton. He said Warcraft 4 Battlegrounds. Let's do it. Let's do it. He says, it's 4-on-4 and a lot of fun. Jarlonger says. Okay, so Grand Theft Auto publisher Take-Two is opening an indie label called Private Division. And the only way that you get in is you purchase your game with loot boxes. So before you just pay $29.99, and then you take your chance to see if you're going to get the game. That's how they're going to do it. So it's going to be real cool. Just kidding. That's just a small loot box joke.
Oh, too soon.
Mm-hmm.
So far they have a couple games coming out. An RPG from David Goldsfarb, who did Battlefront Bad Company 2, or Battlefield Bad Company 2. And an unannounced RPG from Obsidian. So they also did New Vegas, South Park, The Stick of Truth. And so that should be a lot of fun. We'll see what comes out of that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So this will be fun. Let's talk. I want to talk about something that I have no idea about. Crytek is suing the studio behind Star Citizen.
Hey, Chair, don't be a cunt.
God, what a cunt.
Don't you talk about things you know nothing about, you cunt.
Okay. Well, Doug, why don't you take this story?
That's my job to be the cunt. Ready? Crytek is suing studios behind Star Citizen over their alleged use of CryEngine 3.
What's that about, Doug?
Well, it seems that they're suing them because they suck and they can't make a fucking video game to save their goddamn lives. Hey, but guess what? You can buy land in the game. Sorry, that's in the article. It's right there. It's like highlighted.
Yeah.
That's all we need for that story. Moving on.
It keeps being delayed.
Go on.
Words. Let's see. Polygon has a comment from a representative from the studios, which makes their position on the matter pretty clear. It says, "We fucked up. We are aware of Crytek complaint having been filed. We haven't used it for quite some time since we switched to Amazon's Lumberyard. This is a meritless lawsuit that we will defend vigorously against, including recovery from Crytek any cost incurring in this matter." So we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. Also, a little asterisk at the end. You may purchase all land, ships, and everything with in-game currency.
Yeah. I mean, sure. But what in-game currency? You can't play the fucking game. Can
asterisk.
You? I don't know.
Asterisk. You can play this game now if you just purchase a ship from anywhere from $30 to $10,000.
Jesus Christ.
God damn it.
Hey.
Asterisk, we still don't know what the fuck we're talking about, and we're just a bunch of cunts.
That's a long hashtag.
No, it's an asterisk.
That's an
Get
asterisk.
It right.
Oh, okay.
Get off your phone, Kev. Maybe
I was.
Pay attention, Kev.
I was checking 8-bit Twitter. Okay.
Well, why don't you check the live show that we're doing right now?
We're doing a show?
Oh my god.
This is for all you Mixer fans out there. Microsoft has released an update to their app and added a lot more streaming features.
Yay.
So get on that, guys. With
the stuff.
All right, let's talk Star Wars. This is the point of the show. It's the end of the show. We have nothing left for you. So, if you've come this far and you want to hear some spoilerific shit, then you can stay. If you want to, you can go. If you haven't seen the movie, but for the next I don't know, 2 minutes, we're going to be speaking about Star Wars and all the spoilers and all that good stuff and all that. Yes,
I'm going to change the name of our stream.
Before that, Witkin, Mixer is basically Microsoft's answer to Twitch. They do have a better, they have better latency delay between the video gamer, like the streamer and the audience. However, they just don't have the audience.
Tell you what, they have way better features. Like, it's a wonderful platform. I just wish that I just wish that Twitch bought them already. Just buy them out, take their tech, and run with it.
Yeah, but that's what Mixer is, and like I said, it's great tech, but once again, just the people aren't there.
Yeah. So Rex. All right, Jared, I'll be on Rocket League.
All right. So thanks everyone for tuning in. I'm Kevin.
I'm Doug.
For the people that aren't listening.
Yeah, I'm Doug, and we're gonna talk Star Wars now.
I'm Jeremy, and I'm gonna go. No, I won't. I'm not gonna do the show ending. Do. Fuck it. We're still in the show.
Yeah, we're in the show. We're in the
Welcome to Star Wars spoilers. All right, boys and girls. So how do we get this started? I'll start with Doug, because I think Doug has a plethora of things to be upset about. My biggest thing that I was upset about in this film was my biggest complaint is the Superman scene with Lois Lane.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Princess Leia.
Princess Lois Leia.
Princess Lois Lane.
Leia Lane.
I think my biggest issue with this is that for the last 30 years, we've always known that she's been force sensitive, but she hasn't been force trained, and she doesn't, and she's never used her powers other than to speak to her brother.
Yeah.
And so all of a sudden, for her to fly through the goddamn space, to be alive, and then also blow through a fucking door when she was waking, like, it just bothers me.
I would say, I 100% agree. Because I think it was in the Bloodlines book. There's a Princess Leia book called Bloodlines. It came out after Force Awakens, and it deals with kind of some of the aftermath after Return of the Jedi, and her as a politician. And in the book, it talks about like Luke training Ben, and Han doing Han stuff, and her working to help rebuild the Republic. And at that point, no one knows that Vader is her father. To everyone, it's Bail Organa, blah blah blah. Word gets out, people turn on her because they're like, "Oh shit, that's your dad." Like,
yeah.
And they start to turn on her, and she all this stuff. But there's mention that Luke was like, "Hey, yeah, you got that force? You got the force in you?" And
I got all the force.
Do you want it?
Yeah, and
brother sister porn.
Yeah, and her not yeah, she's sensitive to the force, like you said, that they can sense each other through the force and stuff. But also they're twins, so that could also be some sort of weird psychic thing that twins have,
Yeah.
But yeah, she's not force sensitive. Now, I will to devil's advocate that whole scene. I would say it's not necessarily her displaying some power beyond what she knew, except for a fight or flight sort of situation. She's about to die, and in a brief moment of oh shit, her body and the force and whatever just pushed her to survive.
Yeah.
And so in that regard, fine, whatever. It's still dumb, but I can wrap my head around it for a character who has again had no force training whatsoever.
what a perfect way that would have ended for her. Like, what a perfect goodbye. Like, it would have meant so much more if she would have not survived that. Like, I was welling up when I saw her in space, and I was like, oh my God, like, this is how they did it. Like,
I was like, this is it.
Yeah, exactly. And I thought it would have been, you know what? It would have been like a heartbreaking farewell for that character to be so unceremoniously just blown up. But at the same time, like, fuck, that's how you get rid of a character. That's how you do it, man. And like, because they made a big deal about Han's death, that like, not that, I think the moment leading up to it, where Kylo Ren is targeting her ship and he has her in his fucking sights and he doesn't do it, and yet his fucking, you know,
that's
other
what I was
people
gonna say.
do it instead and take her out. Like, to me, such a powerful moment in the movie. And if they were to write her out, would have been phenomenal, because again, in that moment, Kylo did not pull the trigger and he did not kill his mom. And I think that is, again, even for her, it would have been a good exit. And even then, like, the rest of the movie, she's just like in a coma for most of the time. And when she does show up, she doesn't fucking do anything. So now the problem is that, like, she wasn't written out of the movie at all. So what the fuck are they going to do for 9?
Yeah, 9 is going to be a real interesting play there, especially since they've already said that they're not going to superimpose her like they did in Rogue One.
Yeah. Well, I think that you jump ahead, right? Like, you jump ahead in the story, like, what, maybe say 10 years, to where Rey has been training herself for a long time. You know, the Empire, or sorry, the
First Order,
the Republic, First Order
has built up to what the Empire would be, and the Resistance has come back strong, and they've recruited and shit like that. I think that's where you pick up your story, instead of just right after. I think you go down the line a little bit, and so Leia has probably died, and you can explain that off and shit.
Ban says she had to be allowed to shoot Poe. That's the thing, is that, like, I think that this was the plan for the movie, because they said that they had big plans for her in 9. Obviously, her death in real life complicates that, and it complicates this movie because they finished filming this when she passed. So I feel like they wanted to make sure that she was in it as much as possible, because it's her last Star Wars movie. Now, of course, that kind of fucks JJ for the next movie, but he'll figure it out. But because I was like, if she had died earlier in production, they could have ended her character there, and they could have reshot stuff, but it was so late in the game. Because there's a lot of, again, she's not super needed. I know they wanted another scene with her and Luke, which makes sense. That was a good scene to have them two sort of together in a way. But Laura Dern's character was fucking useless.
Yes.
It was the second they introduce her on screen, they have to explain who she is and why she's there. I don't give a fuck. And then on top of that, she's just a bitch. And the thing is, when the explosion happened that hit Leia and, like, sucked her out into space, killed Akbar.
Yeah, and no one fucking cried for that.
Yeah, and, like, Jerry, I know you're like, oh, Akbar only has like 15 minutes of screen time. Yes, but he is iconic in Star Wars.
Yes.
You know what I mean? You know, like, you know who that is.
Yeah.
And I was commenting on our friend Mark Cantu, who the director from San Antonio, and because he didn't like it at all. And so I was like, okay, I'm gonna play the devil's advocate here, blah blah blah. And we're talking. And he was like, there's just a lot of throwaway characters and scenes, and I was like, I wholeheartedly agree. Laura Dern was wasted in this movie. I was so excited when she was casted, and then they gave her a terrible role, and a role that could have been filled by a pre-existing character that is in this fucking movie, who people have known since Return of the Jedi. And, like, and he was like, exactly, you could have had him in the pilot seat, and, like, when he could have turned the ship, and the second that the Empire, or the First Order, realizes, oh shit, this ship's about to kamikaze us, he goes, "It's a trap!" and then just rams the fucking ship, like, through theirs with the light speed, like, kamikaze that they did, which was badass.
That would have been
so
story
fucking cool.
Course correction. That would have been perfect.
Like, would have been, again, like, it would have been, you would have felt more for that character, because they're trying to make, like, some redeeming thing for her, like, oh, look, she's going to stay with the ship and she's going to go down with the ship. Fuck that. No. Bullshit. Give me Akbar doing that scene. And are you kidding me? I probably would have been in tears. If he had said, it's a trap, and then just fucking cannonballed through that ship, oh my God. Like, oh my fucking God. Because, he's in Return of the Jedi. He's also in Rogue One. He's also in Episode 7. And now he's in Episode 8 for, like, 2 seconds. It would have been just a beautiful moment in the movie. and then you wouldn't have to waste Laura Dern on a character like that. There's a lot of wasted characters in this movie and a lot of wasted plot lines that I thought were fucking stupid.
Yep.
How do you feel about at the beginning of the movie? Obviously, we get the bombing run, which I know a lot of people were like, it was bullshit because why do we need that? Why did we need that? First of all, I thought it was a fantastic, probably one of the best space battles that I've seen in a Star Wars movie, other than like Rogue One's amazing space battle. That was really amazing. The bombs and everything. Obviously, it set up Poe to be the bad guy, to say like, this is why you can't be promoted, this is why you got demoted and all that shit.
Yeah, because you have to survive. You can't be a hero. You have to survive to the next fight. And that was an ongoing theme throughout this movie too. It's like, we're not here to win the war. We're here to we're not here to like win a battle. We're here to win the war, kind of deal.
But there's a part where I that instantly pissed people off, and it was Rey handing Luke the lightsaber and then him throwing it over his shoulder.
Oh, that's amazing. That's exactly what he would have done. That was a fucking Yoda moment, like through and through. Like that was like that was almost like Hermit Luke going like, Jedi Zeke, you know, like whatever. Like no, that was perfect. I love that moment. I love it
too. A lot of people bitch because they were like, there's no payoff. The ending of the movie, she's supposed to like get trained and shit, blah blah blah. And I was like, I think it was like kind of a way of saying like, what you think is going to happen is not going to fucking happen. Like, just throw it over the shoulder and be like, this is not what you think is the movie you're watching.
In the chat real quick, Drew, just to kind of go back to the Holdo, is that he said that he thinks that her and Leia should have swapped places, so Leia would have driven the ship through, and then she would have become the de facto leader of the Resistance. I would see even that one. That's how you get rid of Carrie Fisher, and also it makes her character more important. And that's the thing, is that she's in the movie, and then she's not, and then she's gone, and like she means nothing anymore. And she barely meant anything to begin with. But you carry her story over the next movie, and it changes everything. And that I agree, that would have been a really good move.
I think that was the biggest flaw with this. Oh, I'm sorry, Jer, if you want to continue.
Oh no, that was my point, is that everybody's expectations about things paying off. I thought back to that moment and I was like, well, all that's out the fucking window. Like everything that you wanted this movie to be is not going to be what that movie, like, because it's just like, I get it that that everybody has spent 2 years speculating what was going to be and everything like that. For me, I'm not that upset about Snoke. I know everybody's very upset about Snoke. Not.
I thought what I liked about it is that like they just, Jesus Christ. Like, yeah, you think like, man, this is the big bad guy, and then you're like, nope.
Yeah, no, he's not.
No, he's not. Like,
yeah.
That's awesome, and like that was a sick ass scene. Are you kidding me? And the fact that like everyone's like, oh, he's more powerful than the Emperor. Like, look at all this cool stuff that he could do, and then it's like, clearly not. He didn't sense that. Like, he was too cocky, and that's like what's great about it too. But also, even though like the whole thing is like, you know, even though Kylo Ren is kind of more on the dark side of things, like he has a very gray Jedi sort of aspect of things, where, you know, he's yelling at Rey at one point like, stop, like narrowing your perspective to this antiquated point of view where it's light and dark and Jedi and Sith, and like you know, it's not how the world works anymore. Like, to get rid of that. Stop thinking about that.
Right.
And like, even though he does kind of lean definitely more towards the dark side, I thought that was incredibly interesting, especially from his point of view. But just, oh man, it's very fitting though for him to kill his master. It's a very Sith thing to do too.
That's what I was thinking, and I'm not mad about, like, I don't need to know about his past. We didn't know about the.
I don't need to know, but my curiosity and just my like knowledge of Star Wars lore is like, who are you? Like,
that's what I'm saying. They reset the canon, so it's like it's a completely new character. That was my issue. Is like, from what I'm hearing, is
but only resetting it so far. Like, the fact is, the prequel still happened. All the Jedi died. Like. So who is this guy? Because are you telling me that this guy, who would have probably clearly been alive during the Emperor's reign, that the Emperor didn't sense that there was another very powerful like Sith or dark Jedi out there? Bullshit. Yeah. Who is this guy? where did he come from? Why
And
did
how
no one
was-
notice him before?
And what I want to know is how did he come to power and bring back the New Order or First Order? You
Yeah,
know, it's
I
like
wanna
it's
know-
all this shit. But
Yeah.
from what I hear, it's going to be told in a book, and it's like, come on, just fucking. They could have like gave a 10-minute backstory.
Well, and they might in the next movie. In 9,
Yeah,
we may
still-
get like a how Kylo Ren got to where he is, because like we got a little touch of that in this movie with what happened between him and Luke, but at the same time, Luke tells the story. He talks about how like at that point he'd already been contacted and influenced by Snoke. So so there's clearly another part of his of Kylo Ren's story as to how he became in contact with Snoke, how Snoke reached out to him, how he influenced him. We haven't seen any of that yet. So I'm hoping that makes it into 9 as part of like why we're seeing him be the way he is.
But I find it hard for a sequel having to answer a bunch of questions that were left over from the previous when they still have to tie up other loose ends. You know what I mean? Like there was just too many loose ends in my opinion for this movie. Like I want to know more about Snoke. I want to know more about at least, but like I know, and I'm comparing it to Empire and I shouldn't be, but at least in Empire, you find out about Luke and Leia and you find out about Darth Vader being the dad. They should have alluded something for that for Rey. They kind of just, they kind of wrote it off saying, "Oh, well, she's trash."
But I don't think that that's the case. I think
it's not going to be the case because
in the third movie we find out who her parents are.
We are, but I mean, I figured that should have been something that happened in 2 to just at least say something and then go more into it in 9. And then like once again, I mean, they killed off Snoke, so who the fuck cares about him? Another issue I had. And you were talking about killing off characters, and it was fucking pointless. Why the fuck did they kill Phasma so soon?
Oh, she ain't dead. Oh, she ain't dead.
Oh, she's not.
She
dead.
fell into a ball of fucking fire as the explosion happened.
Okay.
She fell through a ball of fire.
Yeah, she fell. And did you not see her armor deflect that blaster shot like it was nothing? Like, if anything, her armor is going to keep her safe in that fire, and she will be fine, and she will return. She may be a little mangled, but she'll show back up.
She is the Boba Fett of this trilogy where she's so underutilized as far as like she's a badass, but like she's only in a handful of scenes and she really could have made an impact. I was really looking forward to what she could do.
That's the point, right? Like that's what's going to make her so iconic is the fact that she doesn't have a lot of screen. That's why Boba Fett is so iconic. That's why everyone loves him so much is like he wasn't never a main character, but he was an iconic character because of what he was in. And I think that yes, she could have a ton more screen time, but I think she still becomes a piece of Star Wars lore that is just cherished forever. So
to talk about some of the stuff that's going on in the chat where Druid says, Kev, to your point about Rey's parents, Ryan's message in this movie was that the Force heroes can come from anywhere and it's not necessarily determined by your bloodline, i.e. the Skywalkers.
And I'm fine with that. I would rather have it that she's not a Skywalker.
Well, and I agree, but like with Leia or Carrie Fisher's passing and then Luke's passing in the movie, like the entire Star Wars saga, the one that's currently being told from episode 1 until episode 7 and 8, it's about the Skywalkers. It's about them entirely. And so that, I know that they're pushing for like a newer, younger cast. And I hope that Rey isn't some long-lost Skywalker. It'd be fucking stupid.
You still have one Skywalker left, technically by blood.
Yeah, we have Kylo Ren, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, he's still half Skywalker, right? And so I guess that's how you can do it. And I'm sure they'll do Force Ghost Luke in the next one.
Oh, yeah.
As, like, part of her training and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, that's been my kind of... Another one of my problems is, like, I get Luke dying when Carrie Fisher is alive, but that seems like something they could have changed after her passing, knowing that she wouldn't be in the next movie.
For sure.
We've got to shift focus, so let's not have that scene. I get he's tired, and you know what though? If Luke is gonna die, he dies in the way that it happened in the movie. I couldn't have asked for like a better death for him.
It made perfect sense.
Just to become one with the Force, just to use all that power it was fucking crazy, and then just to become one with the Force and just disappear. That's great, because then he didn't have to die like Han Solo.
I do think that was a forced, like, forced. I do think that was forced. Like, it happened really fast. Like, he absolutely was disconnected with the Force. Then all of a sudden, he's like, all right, fuck it, let's go back and let's resolve this, and now we're one with the Force again. And like, I feel like that could have been drawn out a little bit further and possibly into the new movie. Because he was fighting that, and he was so much against it with those feelings that he had, and all it took was a message replayed by R2 to bring him back into the fold. And I guess, but I feel like that could have been, I think that could have been told and drawn out a little bit more for him to come back the way that he did.
They're like, he's gonna be a Force ghost now, and I'm like, I get that, and that's fine, but I just feel that with the way things happen in real life, that it would have worked better now that we're losing that character, because they're not going to CG her. Band says they're going to CG the shit out of her. They've said they're not going to.
Yeah.
She's not going to be in the movie. Like, somehow, I don't know if they have unused footage from this movie that they'll tie into the new one or what, but they said they're not going to CG her.
Right.
And so, at that point, I do think you just rewrite his ending and you just let him be alive and teach Rey and just make her, because they did say that like Leia was going to be a very big part of episode 9, and so that changes everything. They were talking about how immediately like, oh shit, we've got to rethink this now, and I think that should have been move 1. Okay, hey, remember what you're going to do at the end of 9 or 8? No, we're not doing that anymore. Like, change it.
Yeah, I guess we'll go into talking about Yoda.
Yeah. Can I say one quick thing though? I mean, one last thing that I hated about this movie. I mean, not even hated. I felt a little annoyed about in this movie, and then the rest I'm just gonna say what I loved about it, because I feel bad that I feel like we shat on the movie for a lot, and it's not that bad of a movie. I think we're very critical of our childhood, I guess.
I'm very critical of this one thing that I'm very passionate about.
Yeah, but my annoyance was the Porg, and I went into this like fucking fully on like 110% Porg adore mode, where I was like, as soon as I saw him in the trailer, I was like, this is the cutest thing ever.
Oh, I was against it from the beginning.
I feel every scene that the Porg was in, although cute and they had some comedic effort to them, it screamed Disney toy.
Oh, yeah.
It was like,
absolutely.
we are putting this out here because we want your kids to buy this.
Are you sure? Because like when you see the scene where Chewbacca's eating one, I don't know.
Yeah, Chewbacca was about to eat one.
I want to buy a pop figure of the fucking cooked Porg.
Yeah.
So, but he was about to eat one. He didn't, but because of the fucking sad Porgs, like they're sitting there just watching him and crying.
No,
and it was so sad. But Chewie gets like a change of heart and then has them all over his ship, like chewing up his wires and shit.
Yes, so did Ewoks. 100% agreed. And that's what was our concern, is that we were like, oh shit, it's another Ewok situation. And while they didn't play as like a critical role in the movie and like the downfall of the Empire as the Ewoks did, it's still just like, at this point, it's clearly just a cash grab. Because at least with the Ewoks, they went, oh, but they helped.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll talk about things that we loved. Yoda was amazing. Somebody, Silver Dust, said it didn't feel like Yoda to me. It felt forced. I disagree 100%.
He was forced.
No.
He was
Oh, god damn it.
Here's a little backstory if you guys didn't know. They grabbed the original molds for the Yoda from the original trilogy. They actually brought in the woman who originally did the eyes for the original puppet and had her redo them.
That's awesome.
Frank Oz came in 2 months before production and worked with the puppeteers and everything to get it down perfect. He actually went underneath the set, and he puppeted it while watching him on
puppeteered it.
He puppeteered
just like he used to do.
Just like he used to. So he did full on. And I absolutely, when I saw those ears on screen, I went, no, they fucking didn't.
Yeah,
It looked CGI at first, but it was because of the Force, the coloring of the Force. Mm-hmm. But it was full puppeteer. Yeah, it was full like Jim Henson shit.
It was awesome. It was great. I loved it.
It was perfect Yoda. It was Yoda that we all loved from the originals.
Yep.
It had that snarkiness to him. Here's what I didn't know. Yoda burnt down the Jedi tree, but what I didn't notice was that Rey left with the books.
Yeah, they're on the ship at the very end. When they're getting onto the Millennium Falcon at the very end, someone is like pulling a blanket or something out of like a storage thing, and the books are inside.
Yeah,
and, like,
nice.
it's literally just to show you, look, they weren't in the tree.
And that's why Yoda said she has everything that she needs.
Yeah. I just
Yeah,
okay. He was like, but the books in there or whatever. And he's like, real page turners those were.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was.
It's like I read some of them. That's so fucking funny.
He fucking hits him over the head again, like just classic Yoda and Luke. Like,
yeah.
It's like, I've missed you. Like, it's just so amazing. And he's there to teach him again something. And we've got some great Yoda quotes that will go down in history again.
Yeah, and here's where and this is something again I was talking with my cousin about something that he brought up that I did not put into like focus when I watched the movie and afterwards, immediately afterwards, is that Yoda is telling him that like it doesn't matter how much you learn or are taught or whatever if you don't fail. Like failure is critical to learning and to moving on and to moving forward, and that you have to fail. And that was this whole fucking movie. Like they failed at every fucking turn. They could not get a win in this movie. And that's what, when you leave, that's why like I felt so downtrodden about this movie. It was just like they lost the resistance. Like it made the original trilogy feel like it didn't fucking matter anymore. Like they fought the Emperor, they took down the Emperor, they stopped the Empire, they rebuilt the Republic, and then within 30 years, all of that is fucking gone. Like all that hard work and all those things that they did just destroyed. And to me, like that was crushing, because you have episodes 1 through 3, the birth of the Empire, and then 4, 5, and 6, the fight.
The destruction of the Empire.
The destruction, the fight for, and the and
the
tearing
rise
it down.
of the rebellion.
Exactly, and like so to have this movie where it was just like, damn, like I mean, and it's the Star Wars universe. It's a constant flux of like good and bad and fighting and constantly and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Except for like the 1,000 years in between Darth Bane and A New Hope, or no, not even A New Hope. Episode 1, where there was
Darth Bane or Darth Revan.
Well, that was 3,000 years before, but from Darth Bane was the end of the Sith Jedi War, or one of the wars, or the Sith Empire versus the Republic, and then that's when the Rule of Two started with they mentioned all this in Star Wars, and there was like essentially peace. Like obviously there's probably some other stuff happening, but like there wasn't like a huge Sith versus Jedi war anymore, and that's kind of what like episodes 1, 2, and 3 about. The Jedi became complacent. They didn't notice when the threat was right at their fucking doorstep because it hadn't been around for so long. But yeah, it made 4, 5, and 6 feel useless, like it didn't matter. But when you put into perspective with Yoda teaching them, like, you cannot learn anything if you don't fail at it, if you don't fail beforehand, if you don't get up and try again, and all this stuff. And so like that's where it was like, oh shit, okay, I get what you're trying to tell me now that I totally looked over. And I think that's a very important part of the movie, so it's very important not to overlook that stuff.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Did you see Empire? Yes, Deb, shut the fuck up. Of course I've seen it, but that's what I'm saying. Like, I didn't grow up in the movie theater and having to wait 2 years for the next fucking movie to come out. Like,
yeah. So the people who saw Empire probably feel the same way that we're feeling right now, where it's just like, I need that final fucking movie. Like, I need it.
Of course.
Yeah. But here's another difference, though. At the end of Empire Strikes Back, there wasn't 12 people left in the entire rebellion.
Yeah.
Yeah,
true.
Exactly. That's the toughest part about how episode 9 is going to go down.
And there wasn't a part where it's like we reached out to our contacts and allies on the Outer Rim, and no one is coming to aid us. Like at that point, like there is nothing for them. That's why I say in the next movie that it has to be. That's why I say that. That's why we're going to get a time bump. That's why I think we're going to go more into the future, because I just don't think that they can start that episode 9 off like that. And like, I think we need to see Rey mature more and her as an actual Jedi instead of still the same role that she was in. One thing that I will say that I really loved about this film that they did with the first film as well is once again, they didn't have huge lightsaber battles. They kept it to one major one, which was wonderful because it keeps it mysterious. I love that. I know some people love a fucking 30-minute lightsaber battle. I'm not one of them. I think that the build up to those battles is worth it. I think that and once we get to it, the payoff is so sweet when you do have it. And I think that one fight in that room, in Snoke's room, was just
the Imperial Guards.
Jesus Christ,
those dudes were OP as fuck, and that was awesome.
And every time they moved, like when Rey first was, and then they were like, whoosh, I was like, God damn, they're like samurai.
Yeah, they were amazing, and you never got to see them. Like you see them originally, like in the original trilogy, and you're like, oh man, those guys look badass. And you finally get to see them in action, and you're like, this is pretty cool. That was one of the best fight scenes in my opinion.
Well, these guys also, I want to make you aware that these guys are not the Royal Guard. Like they are not the red guys from the original trilogy.
Yeah, they're like the Praetorian Guard or something like that. They have a very specific name.
Right. I assumed that, but I mean, I thought they were Imperial, or is it not Imperial Guard?
Well, though the red guys in the original trilogy, they're known as the Royal. Aren't they the Royal?
Oh, yeah, but these are, I know it's different red guys, but still, seeing these guys go at it, it was pretty amazing.
Yeah, they talk about in like the Clone Wars and stuff, especially like the cartoon. Like you get to see something. These guys are like the elite of the elite of the elite. Like these guys are like badass fighters, and
they're like step below Jedi.
Yeah, yeah. At least the ones that were guarding the Emperor.
Snoke.
But we can assume that these guys are probably very similar, and we could see that they were. And people are talking about it was more like an original fight. Yeah, and I have to say one of the things I liked about like the different fights between like the different generations is just like in episodes 1, 2, and 3, we are watching Jedi who have spent their whole life training to fight with lightsabers,
the clones and lightsabers.
Yeah, and that they are skilled sword fighters, in ways that like Obi-Wan is an old man, so obviously he's not going to move that fast or whatever. And we see a little bit more in like Empire and Return of the Jedi, where it's a little more fast paced, and I think they kind of figured out what the fuck they were doing. But it was just very interesting to see like the difference, like someone who's been training since they could hold a lightsaber essentially to fight with one, and then it becomes like an extension of the Force in their body. And then you have this one where it's like this kid who just happened to get his dad's lightsaber and is trying to fight someone. And then you get in this case where you have Kylo Ren who's been fighting with one, but he is way more he is more like brute in his attacks, where it's just just these massive blows. And you have Rey again who like is skilled with the staff, but like she has skills, but it's very
it's just raw.
It's just raw, exactly. Like it's not necessarily fluid as like we saw. I know people hate it, but I love the lightsaber battle, even though it's stupid long, between Anakin and Obi-Wan, because it shows two skilled swordsmen fighting each other at their absolute peaks, like both of them, not holding back, going to get someone equal, like almost their exact equal, and like they're just for like 10 minutes, because you're just like, god damn, someone got fucking like hit in, Jesus Christ. And I thought that was fun and exciting, but I don't think that sort of fight belongs in this movie, where you have people that have not been training their whole life, except maybe with the exception of Kylo Ren.
Right. Okay, so let's get a little bit further onto the Salt Planet. Well, first, before we get to Salt Planet and kind of the end of the movie and then rate it, did we need a shirtless Kylo Ren?
Did we need it? Yeah, we did.
He's so my that made for an awkward scene.
But it was perfect though. Also between the two of them, where like for some reason they just get connected like mentally, and then even she's just like, "Can you please put a shirt on?
Put your shirt on."
It's funny, and also like I really liked the build of the relationship between the two of them. I thought that was incredibly unique, and I'm really excited to see how that plays out in the next movie, where it's like because of this shared mental bond between them, and like all their interactions from The Force Awakens, like it's clear dude has a crush on her.
Oh yeah,
and you can tell that I think she after their conversations feels similar, but at the same time she hates what he stands for. So it's like there's this conflict between the two, and I
also think that she loves Finn too.
Yes, I think she cares for Finn. I think
she had that jealousy when she saw him putting the blanket on what's her face.
Yeah, on
like
Rose.
You saw it, and then when Rose, and then when they embraced at the end, like you could just see like the connection that they have, And so I'm like, it's going to be interesting to see how all that plays out. But the Casino Planet, hated it, loved it, didn't care.
This is one of the parts I'm talking about, a wasted plot, and that here's how you make that whole scene better, even if you still take DJ with you or whatever his name was, Benicio del Toro. Um,
I think it was a good character though.
I loved his character.
I know. Okay, but here's how you make all of that better with just changing one character who doesn't matter, and that is the code breaker should have been Lando Calrissian.
Oh, I
Agreed.
read that somewhere. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, we're like
Great.
we see him. He's at the casino. He's got two broads on his shoulder. They're like, oh shit, there he is. They get arrested and like they're taken away, and we never see him again. Right? Just like, almost like it was in the movie. I think you see him maybe one more time. But like, if the master code breaker had been Lando Calrissian, it would have made all of that so much better. Because then you're like going like, no, go back.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're the guy he wants over there.
Yeah.
That would have been perfect. Why didn't they do that?
Because they're dumb. I don't know.
God damn it, Ryan.
Yeah.
Ryan.
I think that the running the scene where they're on the little fucking animal things, I don't know what they're called, that was very close to being prequel level bullshit. It was so close. They almost lost me with that shit. But and then we get to see young Luke Skywalker. They meet him for the first time. The new Luke Skywalker.
Ryan's other brother. Somebody goes because the universe has more than 10 people in it. Okay, sure. No, I get that, and that's why it like. But at the same time, like it would have been total and complete fan service. Absolutely, but it would have even. He doesn't say a word to them. He's not a part of their group. He doesn't come like with them. Like Lando Calrissian like is notorious in the Star Wars universe. Like even
Well, he owns Cloud City.
well, yeah, he did, right? Like he you know, and he's at a casino. Like that's the perfect place for him.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of reasons why you could have used him.
That whole planet was like somewhat of an upgraded Cloud City, where it was like that's where rich people went and spent their money and were entertained, and it was all the people who sold both sides for their war weapons. So that was political commentary at its best, by the way.
Oh, absolutely, and like it's why they went there. I just feel like that whole again, the whole thing has to do with failure. They failed that fucking mission. They didn't get the right guy. The guy backstabbed them, and then in the end, they weren't able to do what they went to do. Again, it goes all back to failure, and everything. And the two of them failed that mission entirely from the get go. I will say, while they're at the casino, Ed leaned over to me and he goes, "Starlight Money Pit?
Yeah.
Is that the Starlight Money Pit?" And I was like, I swear to fucking God, if that's what it's called. Like, Disney's going to get a goddamn letter.
All right, let's move on to the Salt Planet, wrap this thing up. So that was probably like you could make a wallpaper out of all of anything that happened on that fucking planet. Like it was so just amazing to the eyeballs. Like when they did that overhead shot where they had all the lines, the red lines from those little old ships. I was like, holy fuck, this place is so amazing.
Yeah.
Yes, it was very Hoth-like, but I really enjoyed it. It was. Really
I did like when that weird ass captain took the first step, and there was like it looked like he just stepped in blood.
Yeah.
The guy licks it, and he's like, salt.
Yeah, the guy sitting next to him, who the guy that was like, salt, the guy sitting next to him that he's talking to is Gareth Edwards, the director of Rogue One.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. There's your cameo.
Let's see.
Which this movie has a direct connection with Rogue One as well.
Because the hyperspace or whatever tracking device thing is mentioned in Rogue One. The thing that they're like, how does that exist? Oh shit, they must have one of these. So how the fuck do they have one of those? I don't know, but they must have it. Let's go fucking take it out. Real quick, Celebrity Ghost says, "Hey, did he actually backstab them, or was that thief the reason BB-8 wasn't imprisoned with them?" Oh shit, I didn't even think about that.
Well, BB-8 wasn't imprisoned with them. He was just he just thrown out? He was just thrown.
I don't know, because remember, all of a sudden he's in a fucking walker. I don't know, man. He gave up that the rebels were shooting out like their transport pods, and
Yeah, so he got a lot of people killed.
He got a lot of people killed. So fuck him.
I think he was really just looking out for himself. I don't think he was a rebel at all. And he even says, he's like, you know what? He's like, you may think there's good and bad sides, but hey, somebody's got to get paid. And he's like, I can be either. He's like, you could be good or you could be bad.
Yeah.
or you could be me, or something like that. He said something similar to that, or even like, where he's like, you may live and you may come after me, whatever.
Luke's iconic little. It'll be talked about forever because that was amazing. I talked to Doug a little bit about this. Was anyone else did your minds go, why the fuck does he have a shorter beard? And why the fuck is it all like, it's not gray? Like during that whole scene, I was like, did someone throw the continuity out of the window here? I was so fucking confused.
I was like, I thought the same thing you did when we were talking about it. Where I was like, well, I guess he got battle ready. That he cleaned himself up before going into battle. Like, well, I guess I'm going to cut my hair and trim my beard on my flight there.
And color it.
Well, I thought, like, because some people, like, yeah, you get close and you kind of get, I mean, it would still be gray because it's pretty gray. But yeah, it wouldn't be as dark. But I do remember thinking, like, this looks like him from the flashback.
Yeah.
And I just was like, man, what is happening? Like, this is, like, but again, assuming that he had gone into, like, well, here we go. We're going to do this. I'm going to get this out of the way. But no, it was, I think it's interesting is that he sent a force projection across the galaxy, and not just of, like, himself, but, like, himself at the time in which Kylo last saw him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, hey, like, almost as like a scare tactic because it unnerves, like, it rattles him.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty. I mean, the fact that he's just like, everyone open fire on that man, and then all the ships are just like, and then he just like, he like steps out of the dust and just goes, dust off the shoulder.
Just dust off. That was the best, and I was just like, Luke is so powerful.
Yeah, I was like, holy shit. And then then he just does some cool, like, ooh, dodge that, dodge this, and then they kind of fight, and then yeah, like, he gets hit with a lightsaber and he doesn't get, like, fall over in half. And you're like, what the shit? And he stabs him with it, and you're like, what the shit?
Is he this fucking powerful?
Yeah, like, oh my god, that's insane. And then yeah, no, you learn that he's sitting on his little cliff back on the island still, like, meditating, projecting himself. And that's when you're like, fucking shit, that's intense. Holy shit.
But then you do say, he is that powerful.
Yeah.
Like, to project yourself across the galaxy?
And then, like, tangibly project yourself. Yeah. Because he went up, he talked to Leia, he kissed her forehead, like, and whatever, like, they held each other. He handed her, it was still a projection, but the dice from Han's ship.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, went out, and, like, then they fought. Like, there was, like, tangible moments where, like, people are interacting with him. So it was like, that's one fucking hell of a force projection, man.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so that was, and I loved his speech. Like, it was the perfect way to end his character. If you're going to say, like, this is the birth of a new rebellion. This is not the last Jedi. This is, and I was just like,
all the things you just said were wrong. Because it was, him, like, mirroring something he had said to Rey earlier. But it's like, of all the things you just said, all of it was wrong. Like, yeah, this is the birth. Yeah, exactly. Oh, that was good. I'm still a little salty about him, like, becoming one with the Force, though. It's a perfect way to write him out, but, like, god damn it.
Yeah. Very true, very true. But it's a very good way. I did tear up a little bit when you see his Jedi robe just go off into the wind, just fucking fly off. That was a very touching way to say goodbye to that character.
Yeah.
So
and I was going to say this, but Deb, baby tune in the chat, the fact that he was sitting on a cliff looking out on two suns. It's the first time when we first see Luke also. One of the first times we see him is on Tatooine looking up at the setting suns.
Oh, yeah.
And here he is again, like, looking at the setting suns.
Great callback. Yeah, it was awesome to connect it. It was really great. Obviously, though, there's a lot of things that we didn't talk about. There's just not enough time. There's a lot of things that in the next 2 years that we're going to talk about. There's a lot of stories that we're going to read in the coming months and years on the podcast. So if you want to continue this conversation, head on over to the Discord. You can tell us what you think of it. If you haven't been in the chat, we're always open to that and some spoilerific chats. So we want to thank you for sticking around this long. We're going to end it with giving an overall rating out of our 1 out of 5 scale that we always use. And we'll start with Doug.
It's a Star Wars movie, and even though I have sour feelings about parts of it right now, I'm still gonna treasure it forever and always. And I'm sure maybe in 20 years I'll change my mind and lower my score, like I did with like episodes 1 through 3. It didn't take me 20 years for that, but I'm gonna give it 5 porgs out of 5.
Ha! Kev. No, wait. I'm gonna leave this one. Kev, you go last because I know you're just gonna fucking 1 out of 5 troll.
It's gonna get a 1. Lucky for them.
I'm gonna copy Doug here. Like, the first movie was a 5 out of 5 for me. This movie follows suit. Like, it was different. Yes, there were problems, but they're not enough. The problems are not enough to outweigh the wonderful things that they did and the feelings I had and how much fun I had in this film. So
I think seeing it for like a second time, like I may go see it again this week. I think I'll walk out feeling a lot better about it. Like I feel like after process, again, I told you guys, like, how is it? A lot to process. I've been processing it nonstop since we got out of that movie. I literally cannot stop thinking about it. And so I think that, like, having kind of realized some stuff, moved past some stuff, like rationalizing some other decisions that I may not have made, like I'm sure I'll fucking love it the next time I see it. Like,
I give it a 5 out of 5. I don't agree with, the internet completely bashing it because they didn't get their way, because we live in a generation now that needs to have instant gratification and answers to everything. I don't think that is what, we're not going to get that, and that's fine. So fuck off, internet. Kev?
Oh, but okay. Piggybacking on that real quick, I've always, even if like, I don't know, if somebody's people are gonna like things and people are gonna hate things. The problem I always have with that issue is people getting shit on for either loving or hating said thing. It's like, everyone's got an opinion. Like, as much, and I'll bring up, and I love Bill and Steve to death. As much as I love shitting on them about Batman versus Superman, that's their right to like it. And you know what? I like movies that people, once again, will make fun of me for.
Discuss this. They don't have a right to that movie.
They don't have. No, they do. And like, just like it is in this case, people loved this Star Wars and they hated the Star Wars, and it's understandable. And everyone has their different reasons for it. Me, like I said, I got to give it a 4 out of 5. I would have gave it a solid 5 out of 5. There was a lot of things I had issues with, but not enough to even go as lower than a 4. Like, it was still an amazing movie to watch, and it's visually, it's beautiful.
That's 80%, Kev. That's pretty low. That's a B.
That's 80. Yeah, that's. I don't do the points, so like I don't go like 4.73 or something like that. I say it's either one. It's a solid number, and I give it a 4, based on my issues with this movie, especially, like I said, once again, coming from Force Awakens and Rogue One. They had a high bar to jump, and unfortunately they didn't meet my particular bar. So, but you know what? I could change that score when I actually see the full fucking movie. I'll get a second look at all the movie leading up to the last 20 minutes, and then I'll see the last 20 minutes for the first time. Maybe I might change my score then, but as of right now, I got to give it a 4 out of 5.
And also, you're a liar, because you've done many 4.5s and 3s and 3.2s.
Where the fuck did I give points?
During the Xmas and our Halloween specials, Kev.
When?
Go back and listen.
I want particular episodes. Link them to me.
You gave Die Hard 2 a 3.5.
No, I probably gave that a 3 out of 5.
Find me.
It exists. Somebody find it. Also, somebody mentioned Matt. I want a Matt movie. Can I please have a Matt movie? Like, I would absolutely die for a comedy. Like, make that a TV show. I would love it.
Yeah, can we get Kylo Ren to host that SNL again, please?
All right, that's it. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll say goodnight and goodbye until next week. Merry Christmas and all that good shit. I'm Jeremy.
I'm Doug.
I'm Kevin.
Hugs, love, and all that bullshit.